bean I flicked has made a bit of a difference.
Professional bean flicker.
Professional bean flicker.
Yeah.
I've got to be good at something.
Certainly at football.
And it's not that either, to be fair. Right, so I think the feedback's gone now, isn't it? I was just trying to chat shit and just to see whether it was going to feedback on us.
Yeah.
I think we're okay. So what we'll do is we'll start now then. I know what to look for then.
Happy days.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. And we're going to have a bit of a chat again and see if anything interesting comes up. So I reckon we should start at the week's events. Because Spurs in particular have played twice since we last met. The first of which was the most boring game I've ever seen in my life. It was totally uneventful. And absolutely nothing happened. There was 5 disallowed goals and 5 goals and 2 reds and however many yellows were given out. And I'm like, I had to go to sleep because I got work really early the next day. I've got to get up the same night for work, so I got to sleep. And Zach, my son, had messaged me saying, we won up and all's going well, and I'm like, I'll go sleep then. Woke up in the morning, check FOTMOV. What the hell went on there then? Was not expecting what I saw.
I didn't watch the game. It was a badminton, so Monday night I played badminton, so I missed Monday night games anyway. And I watched the highlights though, and from what I saw, it was a good game. I just didn't even see all the clips because there were things that I heard that happened that weren't in the show. They couldn't actually show all the disallowed goals because I don't think the highlights could go on that long. That's how much
been the whole game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of a highlight show. It's like for example, you'll hear "What an amazing save," and then you go on the highlight show and they don't even show you that save or they don't show you that, and it's just so when that's a normal
game. I think a lot of
game,
that though is I think keepers are quite undervalued by a lot of people.
Possibly, but it's just I'm just referring to like how highlight reels work.
Yeah.
And then to have a game with just so many highlights, it was just sort of like, well, what do we show? What do we cut out? What do we get rid of? What do we hold on to?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, mental.
It was
absolutely
insane.
mental.
I've never known a game where so much has happened. I've watched Arsenal beat Reading 7-4 in a cup game, but that had extra time, penalties and everything.
Yeah.
This, it was just 90 minutes. And like Romero was looking to be sent off after about 10 minutes from what I can see on the highlights. And the highlights they did show, Jesus, that guy was insane. And Udogie, I don't know what he was thinking.
I'd say Udogie probably, it was like the Havertz really, wasn't it? The fact that he didn't touch him was the only reason it was.
He'd already got a yellow. Why
No,
did you...
that
You
first
know about
one.
the first one?
The first one, yeah.
The first one, yeah.
The second one was, we
Why would you do
dive
that
in.
when you're already on a yellow? Why would you do that? I don't understand it.
Some players do.
It's just insane, isn't it? It's insane.
Commitment to the cause.
But yeah, I mean, obviously Spurs losing 4-1, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm disappointed they got beat 4-1, but what a mental game.
Yeah.
Mental game. I'm not the biggest fan of Chelsea, I'm not going to lie. And then they played again yesterday. Lost again. But then when you lose, I mean, Van der Ven, who I think, is it Van der Ven or Van...
I think it's Van der Ven.
What's his fucking name? Van der Ven.
Yeah.
Mickey
Anyway.
B.
Yeah, when you got Mickey V, and he is genuinely has become one of the best defenders over the last couple of games, played really well, and that did not look good when he went down. Like he looked like he was, you know, a lot of footballers go down, they roll, and it's like, oh,
And then they're up 2 minutes later as if
I'm
they're
shit
absolutely
at acting, and everyone knows. But no, what it looked
Yeah, it did actually.
bad, and I'm like, he could be out for a little while, and then the other one goes down, then Romero goes off. So they've got Madison, wasn't it? That got taken off
Madison
injured.
before
So
half-time,
Madison's
yeah.
injured. Mickey V's injured. And then you got Romero on a ban. You got Udogie on a ban, albeit he's his only one. Romero's his 3 for a straight red because, you know, one is full on assault somebody if you're going to go for it.
Yeah.
You know, the job's worth doing. So they were always going to struggle because they're missing. Like Madison's been superb this season.
Yeah,
He's been amazing. So just for him to be out is a big
And
loss.
I believe he's out till New Year now,
That's not
for
good.
reports saying.
That's
That's a loss. That's a massive loss.
huge. Huge.
And I mean, we only spoke about Tottenham in one of the episodes and their running and the teams that they played.
Yeah.
And said eventually they're going to have their downfall, and it's
come
looks
quicker
like
than we
it
thought,
started very quickly.
Although a lot of it was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Like the Romero and the Udogie thing.
Yeah. One of the other problems you've got though is like when you're pushing for a title and stuff, you don't need a team. You need a squad, because injuries like this will now affect them, and it's going to affect them exponentially. They're not going to be able to field the same kind of level of team. It's like Man City. I mean, they're playing right now and they're 3-2 up. And let's put it this way: Haaland goes off injured. Oh no, the best striker in the world has just gone off injured.
Alvarez.
But we're just going to put Alvarez on instead. Yeah.
He's quality, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like, if you're going to win a title, that's the kind of team you need. You need to replace. It's like one of the Plymouth. We'll go back to Leeds in a bit, but when one of the managers was on about, I'm sure it was the Plymouth manager, and he said, "Oh, the problem you've got is they take a £35 million player off and put a £20 million player on." Well, yeah, that's how you progress. You know what I mean? If you're going to maintain big challenges for the like in that case the championship, but the top tier title or the top level, you need a squad, not a team.
Of course you do, yeah.
Teams will only get you so far.
Of course you do. And that's why the teams with the biggest squads tend to, or the best of the biggest squads, tend to do better, because you can rely on.
Tottenham haven't got a squad; they've got a team.
Well, now you've gone into that, and I think where you say the squad, that fills in perfectly to the game that I watched on last night, which was Newcastle Bournemouth. Did you watch it?
I did.
So Tin hasn't watched it, but you've watched it. How good were Bournemouth really? Or would you say how bad were Newcastle?
I would say Bournemouth were decent. I would go so far as to say they were decent. Newcastle were just a shadow.
They got battered for 90
But
minutes.
haven't they got like 11 injuries or something?
Yeah.
Like 9 or 11
I mean,
injuries.
Trippier went over to the fans at the end of the game, and I mean,
one of the fans was going having a go, and Trippier's like, "How many injured players have we got? Like, how many have we got injured?" And this guy then starts walking on. You can see this guy's obviously just disappeared and walks off. And Trippier's going, "Answer me then."
Newcastle had a squad last year of very good players, a small squad. So, and that got them in the Champions League this season. Now the Champions League is really making them suffer now.
It is, but they've still got a decent squad. The problem is 11 injuries would wipe out anybody.
But they're still in the League Cup, aren't they, as well?
They're still in the League Cup.
What you got to think is that they've got so last season they got to the League Cup final, very unlucky, and they made Champions League. All this with Eddie Howe without any expectation. No one was expecting Eddie Howe to get them there. No one was expecting them to. I mean, just before he took over, they were struggling. They were really down there, struggling, and since he's took over, they've been a revelation. But they've got a team that got them into Champions League and a final. Now, people are expecting them to maintain Champions League position and then compete for 2 cups, FA Cup, League Cup. They're expected to compete now due to the money that's in.
I would agree.
And they're expected to at least qualify from the group stage of the Champions League. These are now expectations. Last season, the expectation was don't get fucking relegated.
But this is the thing, though, isn't it? This is where fans need a reality check.
Yes.
Because you can't, like, all the money in the world, right? So I could win the lottery tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm going to move into a mansion the day after.
No.
Because life doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. Things take time. Do you know what I mean? And they do. Like when you go and buy a brand new car, you don't just go in and go, "Oh, I'll have a brand new car." And they go, "There you go." They go, "Well, it'll be ready in such and such." We've got to go and build it.
Yeah.
We've still got to wait.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, going on that, you've also got to remember Eddie Howe's really shrewd in the transfer market. So rather than going out and buying 20 players at ridiculous prices, he's only bought players that fit his system, what he wants, at prices that he's willing to pay.
Decent players, though.
And they're good. No, I'm not saying they're not.
Good players.
What I mean though is like, he's not going out like Chelsea and buying the first player that tickles everybody's taste buds and then spending ridiculous amounts of money to get them.
Yeah, because Chelsea are going out seeing, for example,
Mudryk.
Arsenal were buying Mudryk for this, and then Chelsea come in and go, we'll give you £40 million more.
It's just insanity, isn't it? Absolute insanity. I don't understand why that would be your model. I don't understand why you would want that to be your model.
No, but that's the point that's been made, isn't it? We're on about squads. Chelsea, you look at their squad on paper, they are actually now starting to come good. It's took a little while, but...
Was it 3-2 still?
Yeah, it's still 3-2. Yeah, but that's against Man City.
But
you've got a world-class squad.
If Chelsea...
Be able to keep up with world-class teams.
And they're actually 3-2, which is a damn sight closer than most teams in the Premier League.
The thing is with
That's
Chelsea,
Arsenal
if Chelsea get into Europe next season, they've got the capability of playing two squads, which City can do as well. City can play their second team, and their second team could probably win the Premier League. And that's the difference.
Just to go on that, the last team to score 2 goals against Man City were Wolves when they beat them. Prior to that, still going, was Atletico Madrid in July.
That's a crazy stat, that, isn't it?
So,
that's insane.
So, you saying, oh yeah, but they're losing now. The last team to actively... In fact, I'm going to put this one out there as well. The Atletico game was a friendly.
I was going to say in July.
Right, yeah.
So
competitively, the last team to score 2 goals against Man City that wasn't Wolves, I'm still going, we're still going, hold on. I'm in February.
For the YouTube viewers, he's currently scrolling through his phone. I assume on
Tottenham in January.
January just gone?
Yeah.
So nearly
19th of January was the last time Man City conceded more than 1 goal in a game competitively.
That's disappointing.
I suppose the thing is when they lose a game, we end up losing 1-0, don't we? They just go for
yeah,
a game.
they're all like
1-0.
But to be fair, they don't lose many games.
They
lost the friendly against Atletico Madrid 2-1.
I don't think that counts.
I don't know who Yokohama FM are, but they scored 3 in a 5-3 club friendly. I dare say if I look at their team, you probably won't... doesn't even give you their team.
Oh, there you go then.
But that goes to show, they've got a squad.
Oh, okay.
Newcastle haven't got...
They didn't bring on their actual team till the second half. I'm just looking at the...
So what results have we got from yesterday then, Tim?
So yesterday, I'm just going to say one thing, and I kind of touched on it earlier, and there was one that I overlooked. But if you were to put like an acca on, yesterday really didn't bring many surprises. It literally didn't. Well, okay, again, Tottenham, bit of a surprise, injury woes. Newcastle, injury woes, surprise.
I really don't think the Tottenham one was a surprise, because if you looked at the players they've lost, I honestly didn't have them in my acca. I had them to lose.
Oh wow! So you had Arsenal, Burnley. That went according to plan.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, Everton.
I don't know.
I actually had Palace down for that game.
Really? Palace have been garbage.
They've not been great, but Everton are shocking.
Yeah, they are, but they've actually, 300 pounds now?
It is 300 pounds.
So so you've got to think Everton have started to find a bit of themselves. So I actually backed Everton, and then United, Luton. Although I joked that Luton would win, it was.
I had it down as a 1-1.
Really?
I genuinely had it down.
I think
as a
I knew
1-1.
secretly down inside that Man United would win, despite the fact that they sucked in the week, and one of the lads at work was, mate, when they were 2-0 up, one of the lads at work who's a Man United fan was going, 2-0, and my exact wording was, as long as you've got Onana in goals, mate, I have faith that you will lose. It was beautiful.
Rashford shouldn't have been sent off, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's another one I just want to bring up. People doing the whole, why is this, why is that, everyone hates United. It's like, get off.
There's lots of clubs that are going through that.
Loads of clubs get that. Loads. And
I could go through a few examples of where teams have been screwed over by VAR this season.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. There's plenty to go on.
Oh yeah. VAR has actually been worse this season than last year.
I think it's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's gone backwards. Definitely gone backwards.
It's horrific. And the people that are making these decisions, I honestly don't know who they've got doing it, but we're not sponsored by Specsavers.
Well, I heard Martin Keown talking about the Newcastle goal against Arsenal, saying it was a foul. all day long it was a foul on the back. I've spoken to ex-referees. They said it was a foul. I think they were going for some of them, Clattenburg and Mike Riley and,
I don't think it was a foul.
former refs, and they're saying it was a foul all day long. He pushed him in the back. He had 2 hands on him. Was he stooping? They wasn't stooping. He was being pushed in the back.
There was one given yesterday where somebody headed the ball across and it was put in, and it was less than what he'd given Gabriel.
Yeah.
And it was given as a foul. And it was less than what they'd given Gabriel. And it still was given as a foul. So in that sort of instance, it should have been, for me personally, 50-50.
Yeah.
It was given, I'd accept
Some days it's given,
the
some
fact
days
that
it's
it's not given is accepted. What annoyed me more about that goal was Flappy Bird. Because I can't get my head round how a manager like Arteta that basically took a seriously struggling Arsenal team and has made them title challengers last season, albeit we fell off when Saliba got injured, and I do believe he was a massive thing because I don't think Gabriel's that good a defender. I think Saliba makes him look better than he is. How can you go from having a title challenge to then going, I don't know, I'm going to spend 65 million on Havertz because he's been a great signing for Chelsea, and we're going to get Raya. Initially, I thought Raya's decent backup. No, he didn't want him as a backup. What's Ramsdale done? What's happened to Ramsdale? Like, I'm absolutely screaming for Ramsdale to get back in there.
I wonder if something's happened behind doors.
Mate, honestly, Arteta does not like Ramsdale anymore. Simple. Because it's not footballing reasons. Nobody could tell me, look me in the eyes and convince me at all that that's footballing reasons as to why Ramsdale's been dropped and Raya is in there.
Can't be.
Because there's no way Flappy Bird is seen anywhere on the planet as being better than Ramsdale.
You know what though, I
Not
will
a
say
chance.
this, from a personal perspective throughout playing when I ended up in Sunday League, I went to 2 different clubs, and in both clubs I had the same issue where for some reason the manager didn't want me in goals, he wanted someone else. The only difference I've had is every time I've had this situation,
I think I was there at that game.
every single time I've had this situation, I've ended up playing 90% of the season, despite the fact that every season they would bring a new goalkeeper in to replace me. And every season I'd still play. But I've had it my entire career.
Is that when you were at Green Lane?
That was one of them. But that team that I played for, that
I remember that game.
every season he would bring in a new goalkeeper to replace me. And every season I would play instead of him. Now, I don't get it, but you just get it sometimes where whatever reason...
I think I actually shook his hand, didn't I, that day?
Oh, mate, you scored a goal, went up to him, and then thanked him for not putting me in goals.
I think it was my third, to be fair, then.
It was hilarious.
I think it was my hat-trick. And then I ran up to his manager and I shook his hand and went, cheers. I wouldn't have that if Tim was in there, and ran off.
But the fact, but even when I played the same team as you, every year, Sean would try and put someone else in goals.
Marino was the one, wasn't he? Then Matt Richardson.
Then Dicko.
Dicko, yeah.
See, every season he'd bring in a new goalkeeper to replace me, and yet they never did. But there was always this agenda to replace me. Probably because I'm a prick. That's not a problem.
I think I don't know about the prick thing, but I think the mouthy and argumentative
the
part of
shithousery.
it.
Let's be honest, my shithousery is great.
But we are going to get onto Sunday League because it is called the Sunday League Pundit Show. So the plan was to talk about the weekend for the first bit, take a break, and then we're going to go on to some of our Sunday League experiences.
Okay, so
because that's what.
Then I will shut up on that for the moment. And
so, I read an article this week by going this, and it's probably going to more wine stretch up as I read this out now. So, Mikel Arteta giving the voice of the frustrations to many. Arsenal are not at their best now.
Quick one, guys. 3-3.
Kyle Havertz is not in great form despite impressing plenty of Arsenal fans with his display at St James's Park.
That's what we're looking at. Just for the YouTube.
Arteta will know that his side have not been at their best in recent weeks, particularly in the final third. So, obviously, that article says that Kyle Havertz impressed at St James's Park.
Yeah, he impressed the Newcastle fans. Like, I wish I wish there was a way of just contacting Arteta and just asking him, what are you seeing that the entire planet is not seeing? Like, what part of Havertz's game is better than Smith Rowe, for example? Because for me, before Smith Rowe's injury, when he was playing regularly, for me he was one of the best in the Premier League. He was absolutely superb. His control is fantastic. His first touch is outstanding. He can shoot, he can pass, he's got that, don't get me wrong, different levels, but he's got that part of the ability that Bergkamp had. He can find passes that others can't. I'm not saying he's Bergkamp by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got an ability to find a pass that others won't. He doesn't do quite what Bergkamp did, but for me he's better than Havertz. And a long way better than Havertz as well. And now we're on about selling him. I honestly, it's going to be another Gnabry and Szczęsny. We put up with all Szczęsny's mistakes, and then we sold him to Juventus, and he became one of the best on the planet.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I
never understood why you didn't like Szczęsny. I rated him.
Because he made mistake after mistake after mistake. But, in my defence, in his last 2 seasons, I did actually turn around and go, do you know what? He's improved a lot. I didn't like him for the past couple of seasons. He made so many errors. But his last 2 years, I remember turning to you going, do you know what? He's actually turning into a decent keeper. Then we sold him. I'm like, I've just started liking the guy. What are you doing? But normally, if I don't like, he'll tell you with Adebayor. Right, it goes back that far. If I don't like an Arsenal player, I don't like him, and that's it. I didn't like, and everybody online's, but Adebayor's our best scorer, and Adebayor's this, Adebayor's that. How many other people play striker for Arsenal? How many? Adebayor. Yeah. Who's going to get the fucking goals? He's the only one there to score them. Don't tell me he's good. He's the only one that you can put that fuck. It still winds me up now. I hate it.
Really?
Honestly, I can't.
So what do you think when I started my list of players for like all-time 11? Honestly, I had to put Adebayor in there just to wind you up.
Starting with Xhaka and Adebayor, I nearly tore the shed down. I'll be honest.
It was funny.
I mean, I started watching the Seville game the other day, and Saka was playing, and Havertz was playing, and Trossard was playing, and I really love Trossard's movements in that game.
Player.
He worked so hard off the ball in that game before he got his goal, which Saka set him up for, which was a nice setup. It was beautiful play and stuff like that. And what I noticed, I was watching him off the ball, and he was doing all these moves, and he wanted to be involved, and him and Saka were linking up so well. Havertz, he's calling for balls, but he's not moving. He's static. He looks very static, and
what I was complaining about on a Friday. People call for balls, but they just stand there.
I was actually referring to. I told Josh today about that incident with the. What do you do when you're the last man? You pass the ball backwards one, you make a move, but you don't. You just stand there looking at them.
Havertz for me, I don't understand the signing. I understand why he's playing, because you don't want to look stupid for spending 65 million on a snowman. But I don't understand the signing. Like, we could have, right, albeit we'd have to wait, and I get that, but I reckon at the start of the season, you've got, another 7 months out. You could have gone to Brentford and gone, I'll give you that 65 million for Tony. Stuck him in your training ground on his own, waited till January. That would have been 65 million for me, well spent.
Aren't they already on about, like, his transfer fee for January is going to be like 120 million or something?
It's quite low, actually, yeah.
I'm sure I read something absolutely ludicrous.
I would love Arsenal to buy Ivan Toney.
Mate, he's unreal.
Because I reckon that would put us up. But right now, if I stuck you in the Arsenal hot seat, who would your front three be? Without injuries. There's no injuries in the squad. Who would your front three be?
Saka would be on the right.
Yeah.
On the left, Martinelli.
Yeah, and up front.
And up front would be Trossard at the moment.
That's exactly what my front three would be as well. Jesus and Nketiah wouldn't stand a chance. For me...
But Trossard isn't...
Trossard... Yeah, but we don't need a number 9. City won the league in two cups with a bloody false 9.
Though Martinelli... Yeah, he was a bit whingy. He's getting a bit whingy when things aren't going his way. He's a very wide player.
I like that because I like it because it means he hates losing.
Yeah, but there's a difference between hating losing and throwing a hissy fit and doing nothing. Bruno Fernandes. and someone who has passion and then puts more effort into winning. There's a difference.
See, but then you've got Martinelli challenging on the edge of his own box, and then running all the way back up to try and get a cross in, or to try and be on the end of a cross. His work rate is just outstanding, and that's why I like him. Because I would take 11 Martinellis over a Bruno Fernandes.
I wouldn't want
For the
Bruno,
work rate.
I wouldn't want Bruno Fernandes anywhere near a team. That
For the
I
work rate,
support.
because his work rate is just. That's why I would play Trossard.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't
I like
stop.
Trossard. I've rated him for a very long time.
I was thrilled when we signed him. I'm gutted that he doesn't get enough minutes. For me personally, I don't think he gets enough
I
minutes.
wouldn't play him as a false nine though, just because.
Oh, because every time he's done it, he scored.
Yeah.
Every single time he started in that role, scored.
Okay.
You
fair
can't
enough.
tell me the same about Nketiah, and he's a striker.
Yeah.
So we've got another bit of it in the news as well at the moment, where there's going to be a vote in the next couple of weeks. I can't remember what the date was, and they're voting against. It's the internal loans. So
Yeah.
that's happening. So basically, it's to stop Newcastle raiding the Saudi league this.
Yeah.
But nobody did
This
it with City,
winter.
did they?
Yeah, but again, this is the whole thing, isn't it? That City have sort of done these things, and now everyone's going, oh. So it's only because of City.
I don't really care.
I personally on the lines let it be, because I think that although Newcastle, yeah, they may have an advantage. Yeah, they can bring in the summer. They've lost some players to injury. Yeah, they can bring in N'Golo Kante and they can.
How much has
very-
that cost them though? To take
Yeah.
him over to Saudi and pay his wages. If you want to be stupid and spend billions of pounds, fair play to you.
But I hope that the clubs that could
don't-
benefit from that system do, because like Forest, they're linked with Olympiacos. There's no harm.
I know there's quite a lot of like
There.
links. I know Man City have got, because it's like the
Girona,
yeah, but they've also got is it New York?
New
New York.
You know, at the end of the day, one thing I will say, and this is my pro for it. Yeah, let the big clubs do that. But the fact of the matter is, look at America and then look at football. Even when Beckham took over Galaxy, played at Galaxy and then made his into Miami, it's like everyone's banging on about Messi. I actually looked at a stat. He's done absolutely nothing over there.
done
The
nothing.
team's gone nowhere. The only thing that's happened is revenue is generated. That's the only thing. He's actually done sweet fuck all over there.
Have you seen
Apart
any
from
of the
winning
games?
the League's Cup over there.
Is that what?
Yeah, they
Oh.
won the League's Cup. They went on an unbeaten run. They won the League's Cup.
But
I
aren't they actually
know,
lower in the league table now than
They're
when
one
before?
spot lower on
Yeah,
them,
then
maybe.
and
No,
before
but
they
one
sacked
spot higher.
Neville.
Oh, one spot
No, they're
higher.
one spot higher because they were bottom and they finished second to bottom.
Oh, there you go then.
But
Result.
I'm watching into
Yeah.
Miami because being from that era, I like the way that Beckham played. I thought he was a great player, and you know, I like watching him at Real Madrid. I didn't particularly like him at Man United because at the time, Man United, everybody hates Man United. Apart from Man United fans, and I think, and even now they don't like Man United.
See with the Glazers.
So then I went on. So he went to Real Madrid, LA Galaxy. He went to AC Milan. So and these things, and then finished off at Paris Saint-Germain. And watching his documentary, which is a fantastic.
I saw that.
I've seen that.
It was absolutely fantastic, and I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't see the first time round. And the scariest thing that I thought is when he was having his retirement game, and it was 10 years ago, and I sat there thinking, oh my god, that
Yeah.
was yesterday. Where's this 10
Yeah.
years gone?
But just as I was
Mad,
going back to my original point though, and I'm going to use a player that played for Leeds as an example. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you want to talk about that? Who did you see come from the American leagues?
Keepers.
Yeah, and Landon Donovan.
Landon Donovan
Landon
went to
Donovan.
Everton.
Yeah. But other than that, nothing. There was absolutely nothing. Man City bought New York. From that point, we've had Jack Harrison. And how that guy hasn't got an England call-up so far is beyond me. He's probably one of the better natural left-footed players that we have.
You know why he is.
Of course. Yeah.
Because he doesn't go around Southgate for a barbecue.
Yeah.
He
But,
only
I mean,
picks
don't
his
get me
friends.
wrong. Grealish, better. We know this. But there are players who are getting in that team who probably aren't anywhere near the standard.
Henderson.
I'm not going to go into it too
Cam
deep.
Phillips.
But, yeah. But
To
what I'm
be
saying,
fair, he was at the Standard. If
Yeah.
he'd stayed at Leeds, he'd have been fine. He'd have been in the England squad.
If
on
he'd have
merit.
gone to anybody else apart from
Man
Man
City.
City, he'd have been all
He
right.
should
But-
stay at Leeds.
yeah. But my point is, Harrison came from America. He wasn't getting anywhere in England. Man United didn't bother with him, so he went to America. He got his graduate. You know, he got his what they call them over there. It's like a diploma sort of thing. Either way, he got into the New York
It's
thing.
just graduated, isn't
Yeah,
it? He
it's like-
graduated or something.
yeah. Then he got his Man City bought them. Then he got his loan because of the Man City links with Guardiola and Bielsa. We brought him over. We signed him. He signed for us. We're starting to become more where America has players. There's been multiple players linked with the league. In fact, I think there's been a few other American signings. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But there's people in America, in the American leagues now, getting scouted by Europe, England, and so forth. So
Pulisic, wasn't he from
Yeah.
America?
yeah, but he was it Dortmund?
Yeah, but didn't they get him
Yeah,
from America?
I mean,
didn't
to
they?
be
So
fair, Germany
if
has.
European football is selecting from
Yeah.
America, they're clearly improving.
So it's obviously improving, but you're only going to get this by investment. So now with the Saudi League is getting better because the Saudis don't have financial fair play and they're just throwing money at it. But even there, I was listening to a really good interview with their head of football on TalkSport, and he was basically saying this won't last. The money spending won't last because we will.
It won't go on forever, will
It's
it?
not going to, but it's just getting it going. It's like throw money at it to start it and then see where it goes. In 10
China 2.0.
yeah, but in 4 or 5 years, if the Saudi League does remain competitive, does kick off, does do well, surely there's got to be that moment when people start looking at the Saudi League and go, well, what about this lad? What about this young lad? Because they'll be taking players from clubs at the moment who probably wouldn't normally look at them.
Mm.
But how many times do we hear players that go somewhere, they're not liked by that club, but then another club picks them up and they excel? It's just a case of, I think, personally, investment in all these multiple clubs isn't a bad thing. And if it gives them that tie and that link,
I would agree, and my second point on agreeing would be, look at Chelsea. You can have all the players in the world, it doesn't mean you're going to play good football.
Yeah.
And if you do eventually draw 3-0 with City, it's going to take you years
so
to
I
get
don't,
used
I
to
don't
it.
think having sister clubs and stuff is a bad thing.
I don't think it matters.
No.
I'm all for them. Let them get on with it.
Well, look at
vote.
pre-seasons as well. Guiseley, every season, have a friendly with Leeds. They're down the road. They're a local team. I think they're practically non-league.
They are non-league, yeah.
And then Leeds will play a friendly at Guiseley. Numbers will turn up because revenue.
Arsenal do it with Barnet.
I think it's a great thing. I don't see a problem with multiple ownership or ties. I don't see a problem.
I agree with you.
Especially at ground level, because other than the big guns, no one makes money. It is a sinkhole of money.
Let's run through the last few games then of the weekend.
So what, just Premier League or?
Well,
Well,
we better
we'll-
go in the Championship.
We're definitely going Leeds and Southampton.
Okay, so we won. Looked
did.
shaky 20 minutes at the end. We sort of just sat on a laurels.
I watched a little bit of your game. I didn't manage to catch all of it.
Yeah, so we ran away with it in the first half. Their keeper was decent. We should.
That's the bit I watched. Was the first half.
Yeah, we
I
should
thought
have.
it
We
was
should have been
very
3 or 4.
impressive.
We should have been 3 or 4 up.
I heard potentially they should have had a penalty.
From
From listening, I didn't see it, but
50-50
again, it wasn't on the
again.
highlights. They never
It's
Again, 50-50.
It
Some
is.
would give it, some wouldn't.
It's very much a. I've seen it given. I've seen it not given.
Yeah.
For me,
Whichever way, if the ref gives it, you accept it, and if he doesn't,
Yeah.
you just accept it.
it was one of
It's,
those.
Yeah.
it's one of them, borderline. For me,
The
borderline.
goal at the end was good, but by that point we'd subbed off a few players and we
Chilling out.
were just seeing the game out basically. And then he got a little bit squeaky bummy, a little bit, but I think it was a workman's.
You can deal with that as long as your players are working hard enough. You can deal with it, can't you?
Yeah, it was a workman's game. We went there, we did the job, and yeah, happy days. Just like Leicester at Middlesbrough.
He loves digging at Leicester,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
It's only because I've had to
He
listen to
loves
that
digging at
bullshit
Leicester.
constantly. Oh, they're going to run away with the league. Oh, they're so fucking good. No one's going to beat them. Okay.
Who's
So-
saying that?
Everybody. Do you not listen to any of the tabloids?
No, do a fuck.
Well, there you go.
Listens to
Literally, in all the
tabloids.
tabloids, it's just been on about how good
Who
Leicester are.
listens to that shit?
All it is, ever since they got relegated, was how good Leicester are, how better than everybody else they are, how they're going to run away, how no one's going to touch them, and how they've lost 2 in a row. Do one.
What about Southampton?
Well, I know that at the end of the game, since the end of September, Southampton have got the most points in the Championship.
They
out of
have.
any team.
I have heard that fact.
So, and we're fourth in the league. We're still a point behind Leeds. But we've obviously gained another 3 points on Leicester. Leicester and Ipswich are on the same number of points now, 39 points.
Yeah.
You're on 30...
31.
31. We're on 30. 30 points now. International break, so it gives a chance for players to
Come back
rest.
from injury as well.
Well, we've got Ross Stewart that we bought for, I think it was 15 million from Sunderland. He was injured when we bought him. He'd been scoring goals for fun last
You're
year.
looking forward to seeing him?
Yeah, he only played 7
Good
minutes
player.
at the game.
He is a
so,
good player.
He's decent, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering if
so I'm
excited
hoping-
about it or not.
Yeah, excited about it. And our run isn't too bad. You know, our next game is Huddersfield, a game that we'd expect to win or
a bit
should
cocky,
win
innit?
that.
Why
It's a
not?
bit cocky, isn't it?
Nah,
We
it's
should
good.
expect
It is
to
right. He's
win
right.
them games.
It's like I was saying. Two games ago, everyone's banging on about Leicester, right? And they were 14 points ahead. 14 points clear of Leeds. Now it's 8.
Now we've played Leeds and Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Their game,
Two of the teams that are more up
that gap, that massive gap, that unclimbable mountain is getting fucking smaller. It's starting to look a bit like a molehill.
Well, I guess we'll see in the next sort of
Because
3 or
Leicester
4
still
weeks,
have to
won't
play
we?
Southampton, can I add?
No, they beat us.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they beat us. But, early on,
Oh,
during
yeah.
that run
Yeah.
of.
You don't want to be going
bad games.
high. It's Leicester you want to lose.
No.
No, he-
I don't want
he
Southampton
really
to win
was.
either at the moment. But no, I mean, in all
I
fairness,
don't want.
and choose,
To be fair, I
They
don't
still-
want Leeds to win. They're the team above us.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've got both, but they've got to play us both again.
Yeah, they do.
Have they actually played Ipswich yet?
Probably
look.
not. Actually,
I don't think.
I don't think
That's
they
a good
have.
point. I generally don't think Ipswich have played Leicester because
I'm
obviously that's
disappointed that Ipswich got a win, but it was good in midweek because they drew with Rotherham. So, I mean, obviously playing Rotherham points are good.
ouch! They actually demolished you, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. We were
Wow, there was
on
no
point
need
for-
for that at all, was there? eh? There
Not
was
as
no
bad
need
as
for
our
that.
Sunderland demolishing.
Do you want your boot back? Dear
But
me.
no, I
No,
think,
Leicester have not played Ipswich yet.
so that's a
Didn't they
game-
lose this weekend?
So they play Ipswich on
No,
Boxing
Ipswich won. They beat
Oh.
Swansea.
Day. Swansea.
They
That
were
was
one down
lucky.
again. They keep going
I was
one
going to say
down.
last I heard they were losing.
So they literally play Ipswich on Boxing Day and then the 20th of January.
But we,
I think Ipswich will
us
slip.
beating West Brom was a good one. West Brom had started to get some wins
Yeah,
together.
they're starting to look good. They are.
But I think we've got to give another shout out to the mighty power of Birmingham and Wayne Rooney.
Sunderland, yes.
Still,
Even though they're catching us, I don't
Yeah.
care. Wayne Rooney, ha!
I love the fact that the Birmingham manager got sacked after winning 2 games in a row
Sixth in the
because he
league.
wanted to go in a different direction. 5 games later, they've got 1 point.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I absolutely love? On top of that, the fact that Job Bellingham scored the first goal.
Yeah.
he's meant to be a really good player. Isn't
Oh no,
he?
he's great. But
No,
what I'm saying is, they sold him.
When I watched the highlights, it went, and it's been crossed in, and it's been put away by the Birmingham fan, Joe Bellingham. They had to stick in the
Yeah.
Birmingham fan.
So the
that scored
person who
against
started the
Birmingham.
downfall of Birmingham's game is the ex-Birmingham lad.
Well, they shouldn't have got rid of him, should they?
Beautiful, absolutely
But
beautiful.
they've got another Birmingham fan in
Yeah.
Madrid, haven't they, at the minute?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, other than that, there was nothing I would really. I don't know.
Cardiff lost. They were
Hull absolutely
Yeah.
smashed Rotherham, so I hope Rotherham's.
no Hull beat Huddersfield 1-0.
Yeah, but Rotherham got absolutely smashed by Watford 5-0.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, because we've got Rotherham next, hopefully.
You don't want them to be bouncing back.
No, I
against
want them
do
to
you?
have their aspirations in the gutter.
Millwall got a new manager. They won 4-0 away from home as well.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we played them not so long ago.
You don't want to play. Look at what happened to us last year. That was the start of our downfall. That was when Dyche took over Everton,
Yeah.
and Everton beat us 1-0 because we couldn't hit a cow's arse. and we just happened to lose 1-0 because of the new manager bounce or whatever it is they call it, and that started our downfall.
You didn't get many points last year against Southampton, did you?
There was no need for that.
I can't say.
Do you know what? You screwed us over the year before as well. If you remember rightly, you stopped us getting 4. There was a run of, was it you, Brighton, and somebody else we should have beaten? There was 3 games in particular where we really should have won all 3, and we lost all 3. One was
City
Southampton, one was Brighton. 4-3 City now.
Yeah, Rodri scored.
I mean, I know that Theo Walcott, he says he's gutted that he wished he never played in that game because although he loved Southampton, he hated scoring against Arsenal.
I like Walcott though, he's quite a genuine little
yeah,
guy.
that's
He definitely loves Arsenal, which is fine because you should love the clubs that you played for. He didn't leave Southampton in a bad way. He come back at the end of his career, which was nice.
Yeah, no issues there.
Oh god.
And
Right.
Just very quickly before we do break, just go over today's games. No surprise in the Aston Villa game, 3-1 against Fulham. I think that's pretty.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think Villa are doing great at the moment.
Yeah.
They're really flying. Brighton, Sheffield United 1-1.
That was a bit of a
I was
shock.
expecting Brighton to win that.
Oh, I was. Liverpool, Brentford 3-0. No surprise.
No
Yeah,
surprise
nobody
at all.
won.
And West Ham beating Forest again.
That's a little bit of a surprise because West
Really?
Ham
Forest have been on a
struggling.
decent sort of.
But
They were
it's
really
an
good
away
last
game.
time out, weren't they?
Yeah,
so I thought
that-
they might have made it a bit more
I think
difficult than that.
I think that's more of a
I thought it was going to be closer. I thought it was going to be
what,
closer.
3-2. It's pretty close.
Yeah. Well, Forest were ahead twice, I believe, as well.
I thought Forest were gonna do bits in that game. to
I
be
know
fair,
that
but-
I was listening
I mean,
to
they've got some
Steve
really good
Cooper's
players.
interview, and he was saying, "I'd have been gutted if we drew that game, so losing it was even worse."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can imagine.
So that's what he thought about the Forest performance.
Well, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to stick a little break in the middle now, and then we'll be back with you guys in just a second, but it could be any amount of time at this end. So we shall see in a bit.
I'm going to buy you a proper clapper.
I've got the clap. Right, welcome back to the Sunday League Pundit Show. We're going to have a second part now. We're going to start taking breaks in between it, just to make it a little bit easier to listen to, I suppose. So it's not just one long block of us whinging at each other. So we've actually had quite a long break, which obviously for you guys was only a couple of seconds, but for us has been about 15-20 minutes, hasn't it? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to some of our own personal Sunday League football experiences, times that we've played together. Like there's a couple of games that we just spoke about in the break where we've all played together, and I'd completely forgotten about that. I didn't realise we'd all 3 of us played in the same team at any point. Obviously, Tin Ribs and I were in a football team for about 5 years together. Jim Jam and I have played for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. Looking back in it as in the same team, and then we've done a little bit where all 3 of us were in the same team as well. So we're just going to have a quick sort of reminisce about how things were and some of the special things that we remember about playing games with each other. And I know personally I've got a lot of memories of Tin Ribs when we were playing together, of certain things and certain matches and certain individual moments where, you know, things just stick in your mind, don't they? And there's certain things, like when you think of somebody, there's certain things where you just like, oh, that person, I think of this moment. The first one I've got to talk about is that in Haywood, when we were in Haywood, and me and Spen were up on the halfway line, and we're just kind of chatting away, and this guy, kid you not, this guy hit an absolute rocket from about 40 yards out. Right, it's against us, it wasn't us, he hit an absolute rocket, and he'd come from the side of me, and he'd run off already celebrating. I mean, honestly, I thought we conceded, and you just saw his glove above the heads of all the defenders, just saw his glove come up and just tip it over the bar. And as this guy's running past me, I went, what are you celebrating for, dickhead? And he ran up and he looked at it, he's looked as though, how is that not, it's not even possible that that's not gone in. Me and Spen loved that. We had a lot of fun with that guy for the next 20 minutes or so on the pitch. But literally all you saw was just his glove. You couldn't see him, just his glove, you know, above everybody, and tip this ball over. Great save. That's my one main sort of abiding memory of gaming with you on a Sunday
Ironically,
morning.
one of my favourite memories, like one of the first things that always comes to my mind, was after I'd had my surgery and I couldn't play, and I was running line.
You used to come and watch us, didn't you?
Yeah, and there was at one point that because you were that fast, their linesmen would just flag. The second you ran, they'd just flag. And I actually asked the ref if you could be offside in your own half, and he just looked at me and went, no. And I just went, so why does he keep flagging for him being offside in his own half? And the ref actually went over and had a word with the guy.
I remember that game, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but that really stuck in my head because that guy just raised his flag every time you went forward. And then the ref caught him. After I pointed it out, the ref caught him. You were like a good 1.5 foot inside our area. And you started running, he whacked his flag up and the referee just literally waved him off. And I think you actually scored on that one as well.
Yeah, I did. I remember that game,
Quite
yeah.
fun that was.
Because I remember you talking to the ref. Because I wondered what the hell you were
Yeah,
going on. Because obviously I was nowhere near you. So
well, I was
didn't know what
asking,
you were
can you
saying.
be offside in your own half? And the referee just looked at me and went, no. Oh, that's what I thought. And he just looked at me and went, why? I went, because he's raised his flag every time he runs forward, even when he's in our half. And then the next time he did it, he caught him out.
Yeah, I remember that game actually.
That's the thing with Sunday League, isn't it? With linos, it doesn't matter if it's offside or not, because your own team is.
That's why
it
my
was
own team
sticking it up.
hated me running the line because I was
To be
just
fair,
so fair.
I
I
was
was
always
fair.
fair as well, and people got frustrated and they'd shout at me,
I
and
used
I'm
to have
like,
my-
why
I
are
used
you
to have my own
shouting
team
at me?
swearing at me.
Your,
and I'm
your
like,
own team are turning
not fun.
around and they're having a go, and you're like, well, don't play them on then.
Yeah.
You literally, the one having a go at me, you're the one that was a foot behind. If you'd have been with the rest of your defenders, he would have been off. But because
Yeah.
you'd lagged back and you were too lazy to keep up with everybody else, don't have a go at me because you can't run.
I think that's why I did it fair half the time, so he didn't make me do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like at one point, this one person said to me, why do you keep doing it? I said, look, I'm giving you a cheat. If you are in line with me and they're not, they're offside. So just always look to where I am and you'll learn where the line is. And they still don't learn because, let's face it, most people are absolutely retarded when it comes to football.
It's only Sunday morning anyway.
Yeah, the amount of people that I've seen playing, and this goes for Friday nights, anywhere I've ever played, there are some people who are so naturally gifted or so skillful, but they've got absolutely no football brain whatsoever. And it drives me mental.
Constant wrong choices or trying things that are so far advanced of what they need to be that they make themselves look
But it's like,
stupid
as a
when
goalkeeper,
really...
one of the things that annoys me the most is you get the ball. So I've got the ball. Now, there's only one way I'm sending that ball.
Sending
Hopefully forward.
Yeah.
Sending it.
Yeah, sending it forward, whether it's out, roll out, or pass out, it's going forward, up the pitch, or at least diagonally sideways or something. The amount of times you get the ball and everyone just turns around and doesn't look at you, or walks away, or just stands there looking at you gormlessly, and it's like, well, what do you want me to do? Who wants the ball? Who's actively engaging in the need for the ball? And the amount of times that they've got their backs turned to you, you're just thinking, well, what do you want me to do?
What infuriates me when you're in net, because obviously I've played a lot in net myself recently, is when you stood there with the ball, right, and you've got two wingers inside your half, right, with acres of space behind them, and they're looking at you, stood on a tuppence, going, pass me the ball, pass me the ball. Well, if you're not moving, you're not getting the ball. Run, and I'll try and find you with the ball. And they just stand there looking at you, going, no, pass.
And by the time the ball gets to them, because they just stood there and haven't moved to
They've
the
got
ball,
two on them.
they put up people
And they
away.
lose it.
Yeah.
And then I'm the one that's looked at because I made the bad pass.
Yeah.
Fuck, move them.
My problem is, initially when I get the ball, I can do a good kick. I can feed the ball out. But then because no one's there, and I know in my head, I've got that timer running out. I've got to get rid of the ball. Got to get rid of the ball. Well, by the time someone actually switches on and goes, oh, hang on a minute, I've got to do something, I've already screwed it up. Because now I'm lashing at the ball rather than trying to kick the ball. So there's like a panic moment in my head. Whereas if people just actively were like, yeah, I'm here or I'm doing something, it just make life easier.
See, whereas I look at things differently when I'm in net. I'll get the ball and I'll have a look for somebody. And if nobody moves, I just leather it up front. And then they all look at me and go, what was that? I go, if you don't move, you're not going to get it, are you? It's up to you. I'm clearing
Yeah,
it
but
one way or the
I
other.
get bored of being like, as a goalkeeper, this sounds stupid because people are like, oh, surely as a goalkeeper you want lots of shots. I don't.
What goalkeeper wants to face lots of shots?
I just want to play my game.
Because eventually you're going to let one in.
Yeah, basically.
I like my clean sheet. I'm sorry, I like clean sheets.
Mate, we played, was it Friday just got? Yeah, it's Friday just gone. Right, so 2 days ago. And I started in there, I thought I'll do my 10 minutes and then I'll go out, and then my calf went again. After about 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to have to go back then. I really did not want to be facing any shots. I faced one, and it was as I was getting my gloves on.
Yeah.
And I ended up saving it with my arm because I didn't have my glove on properly.
After
that, nothing. A couple of balls come through, but I was there and I cleared like you did with me the other week. I was there, so I just booted it. I'm quite happy with that. Let the ball run through, let me leather it back up, and then I'll just watch it all. It's fine. Because then I can tell the defenders what they're doing. And I can even shout to the midfielders and go, well, you need to go there. And, you know, Laney, come back here and do this. And, you know, Liam, go and do that. Or whatever it is.
It was such a tough game of football because they were very defensive. They had quality defenders.
Yeah, they did. They had all the defenders.
Why do I never get all the defenders? Can I just ask this?
You'd have loved that.
Yeah, but why do I never get... Why am I always on the team?
They had Ad, Bish, Biddle. Yeah, Fellows.
Oh, for God's sakes.
And I'm like, they were tough to
They're
get.
the team.
Did we win 2-0?
2-0 we won.
2-0 we won, but fuck,
That's the team that I dream to be on.
Should have been 3. I was put through 1-on-1 when I first went up. And I was in 2 minds, do I bring it down? Because Miller was out of his area.
Oh, Miller the goalkeeper?
Yeah. So I was like, do I take it down and curl it with my left and go round it? But I didn't. As the ball was coming down, I let it bounce and I tried to lift it over him.
I take it that was my quality through ball for you.
Yes, it was your through ball. It was a great ball. It bounced in front and I completely fluffed my eye. I just did not catch it right when I went to lob him at all. And it's been.
It was just great. It was in the midfield.
Oh,
he gave me the shout.
For a second, I thought Miller might have actually saved it.
No. He'd got absolutely no chance. If wherever I hit it, he was not getting it because it was just over his head and he was off his line. There was no chance.
But it was nice playing with somebody. I knew where he was going to be. So as soon as I picked it up in midfield, I knew he gave me the shout. I knew where he was going to go.
It's like that game where I scored. Liam said he loves the fact that I actually move and pre-move because as soon as I got my space, I started to run. He lobbed it over and I just smashed it into the roof of the net. And
too many of them stand and ask for the ball.
This is the problem, and this is why I can't get my head around it. I'm a goalkeeper, and I'm shit outfield. I'm fully aware that I am shit. I've got no arguments with it. So when I'm scoring more goals than people who think they're strikers, it drives me absolutely batshit crazy because I shouldn't be scoring more goals than strikers.
This actually isn't Sunday League, by the way. We're talking about. This is
Friday nights.
We all get together.
Low Sunday League.
We all just. There's a load of us that used to play Sunday League years ago, and we just get together every Friday evening, 7 till 8, and we have a kickabout.
Yeah.
And we just hire a pitch out for an hour, and we just have 2 teams.
We did that. We actually played a Sunday League team. We threw our team together and we played that Sunday League team. Remember?
I wasn't there for that, was I?
You were. You filmed me.
Oh yeah, but I wasn't.
Yeah, but what I mean is, and we actually did all right there once we started pulling that shit together.
Yeah, you went a couple down early on, but then once people started realising this isn't Friday, we're not pissing about. Yeah, it's an actual game that you want to win. You started picking it up, and I actually played really well.
Yeah, the problem is on the Friday, everybody wants that glory pass.
Yeah, but have you noticed that? And this, I cannot get my head around. You know what I'm like as a footballer. And you saw me a little bit later when I was maybe a touch less greedy than I was in my 20s. Oh. But you know what I was like as a sort of 24, 25, 26, 27-year-old striker.
So basically, at that stage...
If I get the ball inside my own half, I'm thinking I can score from here. Yeah. And I don't care where I pick the ball. There was one game, if you remember, I don't know if you were the keeper, you might have been. I'd come back to defend a corner. I say defend, I just stood in the way hoping that I was the first man. Basically, so if it hit the first man, I'd clear it. If it went over my head, it wasn't my problem. I didn't have to. So there's no real responsibility for me. Yeah. But occasionally I used to run back to make it look like I was doing something. And I ran back and he hit the first man. It come up to my feet. First thing I thought, I'm stood on my own 6-yard box, and I'm like, I'll score from here. I ran up, took it past one, passed to Vinny on the halfway line, demanded the 1-2. Went through it, smashed it against the bar. I was fuming, smashed it against the crossbar. I was so annoyed.
What made it more impressive was that you actually passed to Vinny. I mean, we are talking about when he in his early years. If we were looking at FIFA, his pass buttons were broken.
Gone. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even have them.
No,
it's not that they didn't work.
You just had run and shoot. Just run and shoot. That was it. That's all.
Yeah. run, shoot, and bitch like fuck if
Yeah,
someone's
I mean,
on your
I
side.
knew that when I played first ever game I played with him at Satchmo's. He got put on as a right wing. I've never seen somebody play right wing the way he did.
I mean, yes, straight down the middle up front, yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much, I was like, I'm a left-sided forward. This right wing shit's not going to work for me. I can't do this. I come in off the left, not off the right. I remember once, were you there when Sean, we had, basically when we started at the Nesbitt, which was the Crown to begin with. So we started at the Crown, right? And when I very, very first started was before Sean took over as manager.
Okay.
And Dan was running it. Do you remember the tall
Yeah,
centre back?
Dan. Yeah.
Dan was running it.
Oh, okay.
And I just went to training and I never had a conversation with Dan or anything. He was the one that chose the team and everything. But he was also our centre back. Very, very good centre back, Dan was. Very good centre back. And all I did was go to training on a five-a-side pitch with him. And then we got to the game. And I never even thought to say, like, I'm a striker. Like, I'm out and out striker. I'm not even a forward. I'm just a striker. Because I thought it would be obvious at training. And we got there and he's reading the team out. And I'm sat there and I'm fucking looking around the changing room thinking, these fuckers are going to expect me to run here. He's just put me in centre mid. I'm not fucking centre. What the fuck is this all about? Now, when I joined the Crown, they played 6, lost 6, scored 1, conceded about 21 goals or something. They've been hammered every week. And I'm like, so it was me, Marcus and Gav that joined at the same time. Do you remember Gav Jones, the right back?
Yes.
Marcus, obviously, everyone remembers Marcus. What are you doing?
What are you
Slapping
doing?
people. So Marcus joined on the right wing, Gav joined at right back, and I joined in centre mid. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. And we got to the end of the first half and we were 2-1 down, which for us was a great result because we were playing top of the league. They played 6-1-6. They were doing really well. So we come off 2-1 down, and I'm like, this is a result. This is making me, Marcus, and Gav look like fucking the saviours here. And we're still losing, but it's going all right. And then Craig got injured. So I went to Dan and I went, look, can you put a midfielder on and just stick me up front because I'm not comfortable. I don't know what I'm doing as a central. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but my body won't do it because like that defensive part of my brain, it's gone. It was injured maybe years ago, but I just don't have that defensive part of the brain. So I said to Dan, will you just do me a favour, stick me up front instead of Craig and then put a midfielder on? He went, yeah, no problem. 1 assist and a hat-trick later, we beat him 6-2. And I'm like, yeah, I can live with this. And Dan went, I can see where you want to play now. It said, we'll just stick you up front and just let you do what you want to do. I'm like, thanks, mate. That's great. That'll do me. And that was it. And I never got in trouble for not defending. Like, I used to come down for the odd corner and that, and just occasionally, like, you know, when the weather was horrific.
Yeah.
We had a couple of games on our home pitch, and our home pitch was pretty bad. But we had a couple of games where the weather was just horrendous. And I'd scored a hat-trick. And there was still about half an hour left of the game. So I said to Vinny, who was our other centre-back, I said, you go up front, try and get a couple of goals. I can't wait to slide tackle in this. I've got to give it a go. And I'm not going to give it a go as a striker, because as soon as you stood up front and go for a slide tackle, you get booked. Simple. So I went back as a centre-back, just because, mate, the fucking fun I had that day. Because you went to ground to slide, and you just didn't stop. Because it was that wet and muddy. You just, woo.
Well, if we're on about the same pitch,
Brilliant.
it was literally a bog.
Oh, it was horrendous. Absolutely
Like,
horrendous.
A goal that will always stick in my memory, that even their manager said at the end he had sympathy for me. It was that muddy that this guy's hit a shot from like 32 yards out and the ball is laked, like absolutely caked
It was.
in mud, and dickhead here has tried to catch it. And all that's happened is the mud has transferred from the ball to my gloves and the ball's continued into the net. And I'm like, even their manager was like, mate, that was so unlucky. Because if
You weren't stopping that.
it was like an inch thick though.
You'd have had to have flapped at it.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
the mud was like an inch thick on the ball. So as the ball's rolling, it's just like gathering mud. It was, terrible pitch. And if you stood in the goal on the one end, you could hear the water running past you underneath. You could actually hear it trickling
so
underneath.
bad.
It was
It was
horrendous.
so bad.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play on them sort of pitches nowadays, though. Now, are you? They close the pitches, which is probably a good thing because it does actually keep the pitches in better condition. I can understand why they're doing it, but like you say, how much fun is it on a proper muddy pitch, tackling?
Bring back the 80s when you could actually tackle and you could play on muddy pitches. I loved it, mate. I loved it. Even as a striker. I mean, I wasn't a striker as a kid.
It's
I
great
was
as a goalkeeper.
But
That one-on-one when the balls come through and it's a 50-50, you just go for it because you can just slide
you
forever.
don't stop.
You don't
stop.
you just-
But then when the ref looks at you, like, well, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, I can't grow spikes to dig into the ground to
To be
stop
fair,
myself.
The landing as a goalkeeper as well in that mud, it's a lot softer.
Oh, it's
I mean,
beautiful.
when you're playing,
Yeah, but getting up's not as easy. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
And then
but
standing there just dripping with mud. You weigh about 6 stone more, don't you? And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck. I mean, I actually weigh 6 stone more now, but yeah, when you're covered in mud and you stood there and you're like, oh, my arms feel really heavy. Look, you just got mud dripping underneath your.
I
your
like it.
legs. Yeah, let's
I
just,
mean-
because we're all looking off to the side, just for the YouTube viewers, that this is the picture that we're currently being shown right here. So that gives you something to look at. There you go. Not that I'm with a Saints and a Leeds fan or anything.
But yeah,
For the audio listeners, it was.
I mean, the hardest thing I
sneaking
found
up on Leicester.
as a goalkeeper was that I could make brilliant saves to my left, but diving to me right was just not natural.
I didn't find it.
See, no, that is going on my coaching side. You will always find that a student will always have one side that they prefer.
Do you know what? I never
Yeah.
did.
I
didn't really
I
care.
literally
I wasn't
cannot.
bothered.
I've always been probably slightly better on my right, but I've never really noticed.
I
Like-
prefer, if I'm going to just push one out, I prefer pushing out with my right hand as opposed to my left.
No,
I don't like diving
the
to the
physical
left.
Diving
dive. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
diving to the right, I could feel that I could push off, but because right footed, I could push off harder and get further distance with me right foot
Mm.
to dive than I would with me
No, that's
left.
Genuinely, that's
But
some
nothing
people-
that's
some people
ever
don't
crossed
have
my
that.
mind.
But I'm
A
not
lot-
a natural
a lot do.
goalkeeper.
A lot do. I had one lad who used to come to a lot of coaching, and in his head, he was no good going to his left. When you got him out of that frame of mind, he was actually very good going to his left. But you will find, if you stay with someone a lot and you're training people a lot, you'll actually notice they are weaker or stronger
That's
one side or
weird.
another.
And it just never occurred to me that because for me diving's diving.
Yeah.
That
Well,
doesn't matter which
next
way
time
you go.
we're warming up or something, watch me, because I do have a favoured side, but I don't know how significant the favoured side is, so I don't know whether you pick up on it or not, but it'd be interesting to find out.
Well, looking back on historical events, shall we say, from the years that I have played with you, I would say you prefer your right hand side because your diving is potentially further, but it's definitely more confident looking when you go right hand side. Particularly going back to that game you were just on about on the Friday night game when you played the team, you made 2 or 3 cracking diving saves to your right hand side. I'm not saying you didn't to your left,
Yeah.
but they just looking back, they looked more confident going right, and tipping away that way rather than the other side. But it's not something that I would have consciously ever thought about or considered.
3 of my
before.
best ever saves are all to my left, and yet I am more confident. I feel more natural going to my right.
That's mental, that isn't it? I've never even thought about it.
You
Genuinely, never.
I fully know that if something was there, so I tend to find when I was a goalkeeper, I would be more edging over to my right hand side to allow more space on my left to try force them to go that way
Wow.
because I knew I'd be able to cover more distance quicker.
Never even thought about that. It's mental, that isn't it?
Yeah, nuts.
Never thought about that. So what is right? So we've spoken about my abiding memory of tin ribs, which was that save, which was just insane. What's your? Have you got any specific standout? You didn't game with tin ribs very much, but have you got any standout memories of him on a football pitch?
He just yells. He's just a very angry goalkeeper. That was the thing that got
That
me,
he is.
but he's commanding and that was nice to see, and you don't see it very often on Sunday League. he's probably one of the more vocal goalkeepers that I've ever played with.
I want a vocal goalkeeper. If your keeper's not vocal, it's just fucking pointless, isn't it, really? So yeah, there you go.
There is nobody more vocal than Tim.
There's two decent reviews for
Thank
you.
you very much.
So what's your abiding memory of Gym Jam? Have you got any? Because like I say, you didn't go for very
not
long.
such. I mean, we had the trainings.
You've got the Friday nights. If you've got anything
Friday
from there
nights.
as well.
You know, but on Sunday League side, we only really had those trainings with the last club. I can never remember. Oxleathers. But other than that, there was very few remote. That whole thing was a shambles.
Yeah, it was tough to get any sort of abiding memories from that time, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
the team were awful.
Literally, I have the abiding memories
on
of one game. Well, 2 games. One that I watched, and then the one that I played in. But other than that, I don't really have many memories of that. And then from a Friday night, just that he's a bit of a bastard to keep hold of. It's like you're a bit like you're not quite as good as Fellows at the. I mean, the only difference between you and Fellows is you manage to lose your marker very easily. Whereas with Fellows, we tell someone to mark him and then nobody marks him, which drives me.
He's so
bonkers.
good with his head, isn't he?
But the best
He's
part,
so good at his
what
head.
annoyed me was that one time when I said, someone pick up Fellows, and then Jake goes, will someone just mark Fellows? 2 seconds later, runs in, header, goal. For fuck,
Mate,
just pick him up!
I love taking corners when Fellow's there because he knows where the corners
Yeah,
go.
but what I mean is, how can 2 people say, someone mark him, and then they still don't get marked?
I love losing marks, playing up front. It's so easy to like because nobody will know who's marking me because if we've not got the ball or we're defending, all I'll do is walk from one side of a pitch to the other side of the pitch past defenders.
Yeah.
Nobody will know who's going to have me
like
at the end.
And I used to do it on a Sunday as well. Is I'd walk across the face of the pitch until the defender that was marking me goes, "He's yours now," and then I start walking back. No, don't worry about it. Then I'm walking. It's yours now. I used to do that all the time. I did it all the time.
What I do,
and I still do it now on a Friday. You'll notice, right? You'll probably pick it up more now. I've told you, but I'll do it now. I'll stand specifically with someone, and I'll look at them and go, "I don't know," and I'll start walking across. They go, "Oh, he's yours." No, I don't want that. No, I'll go back again. Don't worry, he's coming back.
No, that's
You
what
start
I do.
all the time.
I'll switch the markers
But
so they
you
just
ghost,
don't know.
you ghost really well. And I think as a striker, that's a really good trait. If you can, like say, I use the term ghost, it's a great thing because people they're too busy paying attention. If you're really, really good and you can't ghost, you get forgotten.
For me, I don't need to watch the whole game.
Yeah.
Right. So when we're defending a corner or if we're defending like vociferously, I can just look at what I'm doing and who's around me and where I want to stand. I don't need to watch the game. But you look at the defenders and they're all watching the game. So I'll just fuck off over here then. Because you're not even looking at me anyway.
Yeah, but that's
So
what
When
makes
we
no
play
difference
against
to me.
him in goal, he's always telling them to mark me. You know, it really pisses me off because I'm like,
Yeah, there's a reason.
I'm
The thing is
nicely
you-
in space.
As a goalkeeper, you can see everything. So why is the goalkeeper not normally like as soon as he starts moving, I'll go, Biddle, where you going? Go left.
Yeah.
And then he'll go back the other way, and I'll go, okay, right, stay where you are, Biddle. And then I'll turn around to Nick, and I'll go, Nick, 5 yards left.
Yeah.
Just drop 5 yards, or just do this 5 yards, or just do that 10
It
yards.
gets really annoying against him because he's telling them.
Because I don't want to face shots. I'm a keeper that does not want to face a
But
shot.
that's the whole point. But like I say, that's one thing you do really well. You do that ghosting thing.
Unless I'm there.
Unless
'Cause I watch it.
I'm quite fortunate in the fact that most times you're on my team
Yeah.
rather than the opposition, so I don't really worry about that too much. And then, to be fair, what tends to happen when you're on the same team as Fellows is that someone picks you up and then just ignores Fellows completely, which baffles me completely. But anyway, but no, that's the one thing. That is the one attribute I absolutely think you have, and it's just such a great attribute for a striker to just sort of like be ignored because it's great because all of a sudden you find yourself with loads of time because that's like when I say when I scored that I went out of goals I tried to play outfield for a bit, got bored of it, ran up front, and I literally had Jake look at me, Adam looked at me, and then the ball came over the top and I smashed it in the net, and then he was like, what the hell?
I wasn't there for that, so I can't. I know he scored, but I can't verify he quote smashed it into the net.
Oh, right.
To be fair,
so I can't verify that.
If it was a proper goalkeeper, they may have saved it because it sort of went like the Mike's the ball. It sort of went like that.
Okay, we're gonna go with he didn't smash it in, but he still scored.
It was a full smash volley. I hit it as hard as I could, but
I was frustrated I didn't score this week because he stuck his foot out and he wasn't a goalkeeper. Alex saved it this week. And
It was a good save, to be fair.
It was a great save, but it was really frustrating because I hit it
down low.
I hit it hard low,
Yeah.
and he just...
It was a proper David De Gea moment.
did you hear?
He
Did
used to
you
use
see when he
his foot,
conceded that one that went over his head? And I said anyone taller would save that.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit cruel, a bit unnecessary maybe.
I like
There
playing
you go.
against Alex because I've totally got in his head with my shithousery.
I love Alex being on my team because he's like a
Oh no,
fucking Duracell bunny.
he's hands
My
down the
God,
best player there.
Does not.
He is so good.
Stop, man.
But I've got in his head, massively got in his head, because I know that guy can hit the top corner. But against me, he always plays it into like a perfect, comfortable diving position.
Right, I'm curious then, have you got any abiding memories of me on a Sunday then,
Paddies,
Jim?
gotta be paddies.
I don't know, it was just nice.
Would be if
Just-
you, if you
I-
asked
I liked
Carol, it
his
would
I know
be-
he's lying now.
I
As
know
soon as he
he's
said
set
it's been nice.
It's been nice. No, I remember Riverways takes a corner and I scored a couple from his corners, so that was always nice. It was always nice.
The
for-
thing is with me corners is you know where they're going because they always go to the same fucking spot.
But a quick question. As his strike partner, did you find it frustrating that the amount of times you'd be open and he didn't pass?
No, because I got a bit less selfish as I got older.
Yeah.
He would have been frustrated if he'd have played with me in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't pass to fucking anybody.
No.
I get more frustrated when I pass to him and he doesn't score.
That happens a lot
That
these
really
days.
Yeah,
pisses me off.
that's.
That happens a lot
When was the
these
last time he
days.
scored on the Friday stretch?
Last week.
Before
I
that?
scored 2 last week.
Yeah, but before that?
Before that, I've been in net for about 6 weeks.
Every time I've played, you've been out.
Yeah, I've been in net a lot, and I lately. But I think out of my last 4 that I've played outfield, I've scored in 2. So I've done alright, but not great. Needs to be better.
Yeah, you're right. Shit.
What's your abiding memory? I think I know where this is going. But
Well, obviously, we all know where I'm going, but the
Is it
temper tantrums have got to be way up there.
if you ask Kaz,
the temper
like-
tantrums are like.
our manager was Sean, and he was married to Kaz, and Kaz was did the treasury. She used to deal with all the cash. Like she came to football one week and bought me a pack of dummies because I was always spitting mine out.
Oh
apparently.
yes, yes.
That's how bad it was.
Proper. We're talking. You know when your kid has a paddy in the supermarket and they go down and arms are going everywhere.
Yeah.
That was him on a Sunday.
I had one game I remember playing. It was actually against your lot, but you weren't there when you were at the Bear and Pheasant.
Oh, okay.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
But it was against your lot.
Yeah, that was the week
Right,
before
now-
because I was on holiday.
Let's just put this into some form of context before I tell you how bad it got. I scored 11, right? And we as a team scored 14.
I just
Right.
want to point out
But
here, the Bear and Pheasant were that bad. I got man of the match every week and I conceded a minimum of 9 goals.
they were pretty bad. But I'd
Yeah.
scored 11 and we'd scored 14 as a team. And because I got 4 goals disallowed for offside, I threatened to run the referee over in my car. That's how bad I got. I'd scored 11. Like, that should be enough for anybody, surely.
Yeah.
No. On that 4th one that he disallowed, I went, I hope you'll fucking push back quicker than my car, mate, because I'm coming for you.
Yeah, but can we talk about how you felt when the next training that you were having, Sean turns around and goes, I've got that centre back and the goalkeeper from the Bear and Pheasant coming.
Oh, yeah. He said, we got the centre back and one of the full backs and the keeper from the Bear and Pheasant coming. I went, you're joking, aren't you? I said, you've got to be kidding. I put 11 past him. So he turned
The
up and I
centre
went-
back was absolute class.
I went, who's that? He went, that's the keeper. I went, it's not the keeper I fucking scored past. And he went, oh no, I wasn't there last week. Oh, fucking hell. I feel a bit better now then, fucking hell, because I wasn't exactly full of confidence. We put 14 past him. Jesus. But yeah, it turns out it was somebody else, so I was actually okay with it. So go on anyway, your abiding memory. I've got a feeling it's the weak Naston game we played at home, but there we go.
Was this the ball comes to you, you smash it from just inside the halfway line, it goes through the air, your arms are out, you're celebrating, the keeper flaps You're already celebrating. The keeper's flapping. You're celebrating and looking around quite smugly, and then the ball ripples the net as it goes in.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And he's still adamant to this day. I didn't celebrate till the ball hit the net. Bollocks. He was celebrating the second that ball left his foot.
Actually, thinking back,
Moment of truth.
thinking back, we were winning like 7-0 at the time, right? And it was towards the end of the game, to be fair.
Yeah.
And Tim very rarely came out and claimed a corner. He'd get rid of them, but he very rarely claimed it. Now, his throw-ins were far, far better than his kicks. I knew that he could reach me anywhere around the halfway line or inside thereof with a throw. And he come out and caught this corner. I'm like, fucking hell. So I called for it. I thought, I know he can hit me now. And then as the ball's coming to me, I'm like, I'm fucking knackered. What am I doing? And so the ball come to me. I had a quick look, saw the keeper miles off his eyes. I thought, oh, fuck it. I can't be arsed running with it. Like, it would have been easy because there was no defenders around me. And I was quick years ago because I was skinny. But I knew for a fact I could have just taken it down, gone round the keeper and scored. It would have been a piece of piss. But I thought, I can't be arsed. I'm knackered. And the ball comes to me and I just hit it. And I do vaguely remember.
He finally admits it.
Literally, there's a reason why I remember it differently, and I will explain that now. The second I hit the ball, I don't even think the ball had crossed the halfway line. I'd already turned around facing my keeper, celebrating with my arms out like that. Because sometimes you just know, don't you? And I hit this ball and I just knew.
It was sweet.
Now the reason I forgot that bit was because I was stood there what felt like that long. I'm like, I fucking missed it. And as I turned around, I watched the ball go in the back of the net. And I'm like, that's why I remember watching the ball hit the net.
To be fair, it was really central as well. So the only way that wouldn't have gone in is if it went over. Because it was like literally centre of the net. Good yard each side, like them said.
It was well hit. It's one of that. The second you hit it, you just knew. I knew the keeper was just far enough out that he was never getting back. And I'd hit it well enough that it was going in. And I do remember turning around to you and celebrating. And then I turned around because I thought I'd messed up. And as I turned around, I watched the ball hit the back of the net. And that's why I remember hitting it and watching it go in. And I'm like, surely I didn't turn around because I remember seeing it go in. And then it's sort of, over the years, it's come back to me. And
it always made me laugh, though, how many people got caught out by my throw.
Oh, it was huge.
And my favourite assist, because I had a few from throws, but my favourite one is Marcus. Because to this day, he claims that this didn't happen this way. So I throw the ball out to the halfway line where Marcus
it was just inside their arm.
Yeah. And it's gone, and their defenders tried to come forward and he misread it. So it goes over his head, bounces, and Marcus takes it in control and he runs probably 3 paces, and just as the ball's about to get about a yard outside the area, he toe pokes it.
No. Where do you remembering that shot from?
Just outside the area, wasn't it?
It fucking wasn't. It was 30 yards out.
Was it 30 yards out?
It was fucking 30 yards out.
So anyway, he's toe poked it. It was a toe poke. There's no two ways about it. He's toe poked it, and it screams into the top corner, doesn't it? It's like right in the top bins.
It was in the bin.
Absolute toe poke. So we're all going, and he's going, no, top of the foot, laces. No, Marcus, that was a toe poke.
It was a toe poke.
You are not getting away.
Do you know what? To this day, he'll tell you he's hit that with his laces.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still to this moment.
Because I saw him in a shop probably 6 or 7 months ago, and I mentioned that, and he went, no, I did hit it. I struck it really well.
With his toes.
No, you didn't. You didn't strike it well at all. A ball does not fly off your foot that quickly. If you hit it with your it pinged. I'm like, that was definitely a toe poke. You can tell.
Nothing wrong with a toe poke.
Certainly not when it flies in the net like that. That was a cup game, that was.
Yeah, it was an absolute bullet.
Oh,
but it was just so funny. It was a proper toe poke.
But it was a toe poke. I'm
no,
sorry,
two ways. That is, yeah.
It was good golf. I mean, fair play to him. It was right in the corner. Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a toe poke. But yeah, I remember that one. That was good fun, that was. I remember as well, we were playing my ex-team, Slaters Ales.
Yeah.
And we were playing them in a cup. I think it was the round after, actually. But the weather was shite. And we were 2-2. Like, Slaters Ales were 2 divisions above us as well. We were expecting a good hiding that day. It was at King Eddie's. Right, the weather was horrendous. We were 2-2. There was about 6 minutes left. And I got the ball on the halfway line. And I hit it. and it stopped in the mud on the line, and the keeper walked back and picked it up, and the ref was like, I went, you can't fucking do that, mate. I said, any other weather that'd have gone in. Like, you're not telling me that I wouldn't have bounced in. I said, it's got to be like a drop ball or something. No, just carry on. Oh, I can't believe that. And then we got beat in extra time, I think, afterwards. I'm absolutely gutted I was, because we would have won that game. But again, clean strike, halfway line. I used to love them, mate. I used to love them. Didn't get the chance very often, but when you did, as long as you hit it well, they always look good. But yeah, stopped on the line in the mud, I was absolutely fuming.
Okay, so very quickly then. Best player you've ever played with on a Sunday? You can't include any Friday, it has to be a Sunday.
Oh, best player in what respect though? Because there's better players for different reasons.
Let's just go.
I'll go through my top 3 then.
Okay.
Best passer, Blockhead, without a shadow of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
He could hit me from 70 yards and it would land on the blade of grass I wanted it to land on. Unbelievable. Work rate and unselfishness, Spenner.
I thought you were going to say tackling for Spenner.
He did not stop. Like at the time, like years ago, I was a smoker and I was a very, very, very lazy striker. If the ball's going forward, I will sprint. But if the ball's going back towards my goal, that's your job to do. It's fuck all to do with me. Not my responsibility, not my problem. I was very, very arrogant and selfish as a striker. Not like now I've changed my game a bit because I'm not as quick as I was, and I do come back and I do a bit. But back then I did fuck all. Spenner used to do my running for me twice over. Like he was absolutely unbelievable. And you're the best goalkeeper that I've ever had behind me.
Oh, thank you.
Because given the guys that I've had behind me, I'd pick you over the others. So definitely as a goalkeeper, you're the best. Like I say, work rate and unselfishness, Spenner without doubt, and passing ability, Blockhead was just insane.
Can I throw one out there? Because I know this person might be listening. Most skillful player you've ever played with?
That's a tough one, you know, because there's been a couple.
See, I'm thinking of a certain little kid from Brazil.
I mean, that guy was just fucking funny. You're on about Jonu when he come over. Now, we were frightened of playing Jonu. When he come over, he was 15 or 16.
Weighed
Honestly,
about 2 ounces.
He looked like fucking Fido Dido off the old 7-Up adverts. Like, he looked like a stick insect.
What a player.
Very, very small, very skinny. And he turned up the one day, and I even remember where we were at the top end of Stafford, at the school.
Yeah.
Whose name escapes me at the minute. Is it Graham Balfour?
Yeah.
Playing at Graham Balfour. And we got 10 players. And we're like, fuck, to have 11, we're going to have to put Jonu on the pitch. We've got no fucking choice. Like, and we're worried about insurance and injuries, and like people are going to batter him. He doesn't really speak the language. He's going to struggle. We're in trouble here. I have never seen a fucking 16-year-old kid take the piss out of an entire squad the way he did. Unbelievable. But yeah, you are dead right. I was thinking of players I played with regularly, not. Oh mate, honestly, I've never seen anything like it in my fucking life.
The best moment though for me was that time when he ran down the right wing, and I can't remember who was playing the ball, and when those people talk, yeah, I'm open it, or you.
Do you know the irony is? Do you know how to say pass in Brazilian Portuguese?
No.
Pass. It's literally the same fucking
It's going to be
word.
something like passa de bola.
It's just pass. Like, he could have shouted pass and we'd have all understood him. But because he didn't know that, because nobody had told him, Marcus, hello, you listening? It's your fucking nephew.
I was actually referring to Jonah listening.
Jonu is a follower actually of the pod, so I hope he does listen.
There you go, mate. Have a nice little mention from us.
I'll get Marcus to translate it for him if he doesn't speak English yet, which he may well do at this point. But yeah, honestly, he was fucking unbelievable.
We actually played one team, and their only tactic was just kick him, because that was the only thing they had to stop him.
I remember that game because Marcus shouted something in Portuguese over the pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think they're fucking going to be in trouble here. Because they switched then, and Joni went onto the left and Marcus went onto the right. And Marcus just kicked holes out of their fullback.
Yeah.
Absolutely kicked holes out of him for the rest of the game.
Because this lad was just basically assaulting Joni.
Yeah. Because I remember the rest of that game, Marcus spoke in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Didn't speak a word of English. because he wanted their guy to think he didn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
Because he approached him after the game and spoke to him in perfect English, going, "If you ever fucking go near my nephew again, I will stab you. There's no two ways about it. I'll have you." Proper had to go.
Well, it was.
Joni was brutalised.
One
And do you know what? And Joni still never lost the ball. Mate, honestly, the guy was just insane. It's just crazy.
Yeah, definitely the most skillful player I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was going to go with a couple of others actually, but yeah, although he was only there probably 5 months,
Yeah.
he wasn't there very long. He ended up having to go home because if he'd got a work permit, he would have ended up playing, because I think Portsmouth, Villa, and there was another one that was after him as well. But he couldn't get a work permit from what I can gather, and that's the only reason he didn't sign an actual contract.
Yeah,
Because remember, he started playing for Stafford Rangers.
Did he?
Young'uns. And he used to come off the pitch and he'd be like, "I prefer playing with you guys on a Sunday." He said, "Because I know that they're at a level," he said, "but when I play the ball through," he said, they don't do what they need to do." And he says, "But if I play the ball through to Stretch, I know he's going to at least have a shot." Whereas these, they stop it and they come back and they fuck away, and it's frustrating. I don't like it.
Yeah.
He said, "When I play the ball forward, I want you to have a shot." He said, "That's the whole point of me putting the ball forward." He used to get really frustrated.
Such a
I hated it.
Such a
But yeah,
good player.
very, very good. He was levels above us.
Yeah, it would be nice if he just came over for like a holiday and then we took him over on a Friday night.
Oh, I fucking love
I would love that. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
amazing.
that. Yeah, I bet he's still got it.
It's
Because
probably better. It's probably got more of a football head as well.
Yeah, well, he will have, yeah.
So go on then, Jim Dan. Who's the best player? You obviously might not be someone we know, but
Pick a player that you do know.
ooh,
Probably Jove.
Grujic. I knew he was going to go with Grujic. He's a quality player.
I'm not gonna lie, Dave.
He's been there on a Friday a few times. I'm not even sure if he
Is he the one who
wasn't.
plays centre back?
It varies.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. He can play anywhere, really, to be fair to him.
Yeah. He's just holds up the ball. He just wants it so much, and it's just. And I played centre back with him. I started playing up front with him on a Friday night and started linking
Yeah,
up.
because
with
when I
him
took
and
him out, it was him and Grujic that were coming one-on-one with me when I slid out and took
And
him out.
just know we can just link up with him, know what he wants to do. He wants to play the same style of football.
But that's the
Sit
thing,
on
isn't it?
the-
When you're with a group of people and you know what they want, like when I was playing with Spen, I knew where he was putting the ball. He didn't give a fuck where you were, Spen.
Yeah.
He was playing the ball across the goal, and that was it. End of story. Because remember, my first meeting with Spen, very first time, I'd not even spoken to him before the game. It was just Sean just went, "Here's a new striker," because Spen had turned up for like 25 seconds before we kicked off. When here's your new striker, and he's going up front, and I just shook his hand and went, "All right, mate, I'm stretched," and that was it. We're on the pitch, and because of the players that I'd had before, he was running down the right hand side, and he cut in to put it in. So I pulled back towards the penalty spot where I always went, and he drilled it across the face. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he went, "I don't give a fuck. That's where it's going."
You know what? It's such a
What a
Spen thing to say.
fucking cocky prick.
Yeah, but that's.
And then I tell you what, the amount of goals I got off him for because I was just there then, because I knew where the ball was going, so I just made sure I was there. The goals I scored off that guy was just incredible.
He is.
Fucking loads.
Such a
of them.
good playmaker.
Yeah. he
Terrible
was
tackler.
So good.
Terrible tackler. But
I don't know, because the once, right? I mean, his tackling left a little bit.
No.
to be
His
desired.
tackling was amazing, but like a
Unintentionally.
bus, it was always late.
He was. I remember the once we were struggling in a game, and it was Mikey left back.
Yeah.
And he was being terrorised by this guy, and Spenner just kept shouting, "Go through him! Go through him! Go through him!" And Mikey, you know what Mikey's like. He was
He's
just
nice.
such a nice guy. Like honestly, wouldn't and he just didn't go into challenges like that. And Spen ran 70 yards, and like you could see the intent in him. Like the intent was not to get the ball, put it that way. And he ran 70 yards from across his striker position, all the way across down back to left back, and he took to ground to go through this guy. Mate, greatest tackle I've seen on a Sunday league. Brilliant.
I've never ever gone to hurt someone in a challenge ever.
You're a fucking liar, because I've seen it. And Spen just literally stood up and went, "That's how you do it," and walked off. And he come back to me and I went, "That's not what you meant, was it?" He just went, "What are you on about?" He went to hurt him, but it turned out it was the greatest tackle I've seen on a Sunday. It was brilliant. But yeah, completely unintentional. But yeah, you've definitely gone out to hurt people. But in your defence, you've also had people that have seriously gone out to injure you and all.
Yeah.
And have done.
Mm-hmm.
I think some prick took a penalty at him once and fucking put him in hospital.
Don't know who that was. Lesson for the kids: don't save a penalty with your bollocks.
Might not have been a game. It might have just been a piss about that we were having at Rowley Park. And I said to him like, I'm not a big fan of placing penalties, but I don't want to blast it. And he was like, no, fuck it, just blast it. Oh, okay then. So I took a few steps back. I gave that everything I got, right? Everything I got. He's on the floor in agony because it hit him square in the balls, and I'm just annoyed because he'd saved it. But yeah, next thing I know, I'm getting a call off him, and I picked up the phone. I'm sat at home watching the telly, and I'm like, all right, Tint, it was his mum. I'm like, oh, what are you doing ringing me off Tint's phone? She's like, he's in hospital. I'm like, what's the matter with him? Oh, he's got an issue with his... I went, don't tell me that was a football. Please don't tell me that was a football. And she went, yeah, it was something to do with somebody at a penalty. I'm like, oh my God. I can't believe it. So I went to see him in hospital. And I'm like, it wasn't me. He went, yeah, it was. Mate, I'm so sorry. But like I said, I didn't want to blast at him, and he told me to blast at him.
Did it go in?
And it didn't go in. I was more annoyed about that at the time than like, I mean, I should have been like, you alright, mate? Alright, I'm trying to pick him up. No, I was just annoyed because he'd saved it. I'm like, what a prick, I gave that everything. He went, oh no! Yeah, that was a bad one, that was me.
Yeah, it was.
That was a bad one.
I still think the worst one I've had was when that lad drop kicked me in the chest.
Hence the reason he scored tin ribs. Because we literally, one of the defenders heard his ribs go ping, ping, ping when this guy kicked him. But when he got kicked in the chest, he was jumping to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So the ball's above his head and he's jumping. And this guy, I mean, their striker was about 6'4", like he got a bit of height to him. But he literally jumped and booted him in the chest while he's jumping. So it wasn't anywhere near a fair challenge.
Stud marks where he chipped my hip bone and broke 2 ribs.
Yeah, but our defender heard him go ping ping, so tin ribs. That's where that challenge was where he got the nickname from. It was
also when we were running around the field on my first training back, and John goes, shh, lads, listen, his ribs are rattling like tin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like every time we run, dogs used to chase him.
All I'm
like,
saying is,
they just think he's a bone.
All I'm saying is I got my revenge on him.
John?
No, the lad who kicked me in the chest.
Oh yeah, I can't even remember who he played for. I know they played in white.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we played in a 1-on-1, and I went through the back of him and did his knee, so he had to go off and then they scored the penalty. But I was happy because he went off. And then me and you turned up to their training, and I told him if he came in the area, I was going to rip his face off.
Oh yeah,
and then
I
he wouldn't
that.
come in the area. So
Yeah,
this striker, who's like their top striker, wouldn't come in the area. He literally stayed outside the area and would only take pot shots from outside the area.
Well, we had some really, really good time.
Well, quite funny, actually.
I was the Nesbitt and the Crown between the two teams for probably 6 or 7 years, like, so I was there a long time. Really enjoyed it. I've got some absolutely great memories of that. I mean, we weren't a good team. We used to get beaten a lot.
We're awful.
We used to get beaten a lot, but it was one of them where you didn't really dislike anybody. Like, eventually 1 or 2 came that I wasn't very keen on, but they never stayed very long. Do you know what I mean? They were there, and me and Tina talked like, I think he's a bit of a prick, or he's a bit of a prick, but they never stayed long, and then they usually went. And we had a couple, like, I remember Richie McManus when he joined. Very fast, very skillful, very, very good, and you thought, this kid's got a fucking shot, like, I mean, he could actually do something. I think he'd already gone by that point. It was right towards the end when he joined.
Oh, no.
What a player.
Oh, definitely, because I left early.
Absolutely lightning quick and so skillful. He was a left winger for us. I don't know where he played, like, or where he wanted to play or whatever, but he was left wing for us. Such a good player, so fast and strong, and he got everything, absolutely everything, absolutely everything. And I don't know. I think he just gave it up after a while. But then I suppose being at the Nesbitt is going to make you feel worse than you are anyway, because we used to lose a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time. I miss them days. Obviously, you can't do it when you're 42 now.
Well,
no chance to play
last time I
football
played, I tipped a cross away right near the end of the game. Don't know if you swung a corner in and I tipped it away.
Yeah.
Well, I came down armpit first onto someone's shoulder.
Ooh.
At the time, didn't feel it. Saturday I woke up, so that was the Saturday. So that was a week ago. And my ribs were that sore. That I struggled breathing for 2 days, And then since then, I've had a messed up shoulder because obviously it's overcompensated for everything, and it's only been today where I can actually move my shoulder properly. That is when you know you're too old to keep playing.
Mate, every time I play outfield, one of my calves goes.
Yeah. And it's just like, I
But
don't...
I've been reading up on it, and it reckons if you don't stretch beforehand, which to be fair I don't, so I should probably do that. And if you're dehydrated, I definitely don't drink enough water. So as I'm getting, it didn't really bother me when I was 20. I was like, I'd turn up after a fucking,
a bender.
four loads of I didn't really.
You mean like when I turned up after my 21st birthday, still pissed and seeing 3 footballs?
See, right now I feel in the best condition I've felt for the last 10 years.
I wish I did.
The thing is, though,
Even though I'm still big now, but I'm probably 3 stone lighter than I was.
see,
10 years
this
ago.
is the ironic thing, right? I'm actually 5 stone heavier than, 4 stone now heavier than I was. But I can run and do more now than then, but then I used to smoke 40 a day.
Yeah.
And I've quit smoking when my son was born, and I don't drink alcohol at all anymore. I feel fitter now, even though I'm fatter, just because I don't do all the crap stuff. I mean, you've always been stick thin, so you're gonna. Fucking hell.
I feel like I could play more football than I do.
I can't, but only because of my legs. If I could somehow work something out, anybody know? If anybody listens to this that actually knows how I can stop my calves going on me, I'm willing to take any advice just to stop them, because they just go, and the pain in them is horrific. I can barely walk. On
It's
the
probably
Saturday.
not playing, but that's not an option for you.
I'm not doing that. I don't mind going for more of a run. I'm not using the treadmill. 'cause
Every
it's
day.
boring. I don't mind going for a run.
Yeah, we'll do a run
But
every day.
I'm not using the
Do a
treadmill.
run every day. Get your
For me,
calves.
I'd sell that bloody treadmill because I don't use it. But Sarah reckons she wants to keep it and use it. And we've had that.
Has she used it yet?
We've had that 6 years. She's probably stolen it twice, but she won't let me sell it.
To be fair, your daughter's run on it more than you have as well.
Mm.
Well, she's 4. She's used that loads more than me. Because like when I'm in here working out, and she knows I'm in here, she'll come in and won't leave me alone. So I end up putting her on there because I can attach her to the red string bit.
Oh yeah.
So if
The
she comes
emergency
back,
pull.
the
Yeah.
emergency pull. So I get her on there and I go, you can't get off now because you've got that on you. So you've just got to be good, and she'll just stand walking on that for ages. And she doesn't bother her. Like she quite enjoys it.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's good for her. She'll just stand on that and walk in, and we'll have Peppa Pig or whatever on the telly. And she's quite happy, and then I can just work out in here, and she doesn't bother me. And because I've always said to her, just keep away from the weights because they're dangerous, and just stay over there, and you'll be fine. So yeah, she quite enjoys it. But I think we should
Call it a day.
call that a day then today, fellas. And,
If anyone made it to the end, well done.
and thank you.
Yeah.
If anyone listens at all, actually, we really appreciate it because we just started this as a bit of a laugh and a reason just for us to get together, because we weren't seeing a lot of each other at all, and I don't know if anyone out there has got mates that they, or they've had or whatever, and they don't spend a lot of time with. But like, the only advice I can give you is get in touch with your mates and go out of your way to try and arrange something to spend time with them. Because for me personally, like, I left home at 16 and I haven't been back since. And the only thing that's kept me going is the friends I've made along the way. Like, I mean, in particular, sort of like you and Spen have literally, like, Spen on several occasions has saved my life. Like, it's just been absolutely amazing. So it's the best advice I can give to anybody is if you've got anybody out there that you're missing, or you think, I should spend a bit more time with that, but go and fucking spend the time with them, because there's nothing more important for me than your mates. The family you create rather than the family that you're born into is for me more important. I don't know how you two
True
feel
that.
about it, but
Definitely.
No, definitely agree.
so if there's anyone out there, just reach out. Even if you reach out to us, we'll always message you. All 3 of us have got access to the Twitter and the email, and if you look for us on any social media, it's all Sunday League Pundit Show. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We've got a page on Facebook as well now. You can send us messages on all of them. We've got an email address, sundayleaguepundits@outlook.com. Always messages on there as well. We'll always get back to everybody and do as much as we can. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. We're going to call it a day, and we'll be back next Sunday. But
One of us won't.
One of us is going to be a bit of a scumbag next week, aren't we, Jim Jam?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make your apologies then, because you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Marital
Brilliant.
duties.
Oh, it's just it's not
Not
good
enough.
enough. We'll have to have a load of kids, I think. But yeah, Jim Jam's not going to be here next week, so you're going to have to put up with me and Tin Ribs. I'm sure we can find something to talk about somewhere along the way.
Probably.
I reckon. So thank you very much, and we shall see you next week. Crocodile. From the side, yeah.